Elizabeth Báthory was a noblewoman, countess, and reputed serial murderer who was a member of the Báthorys, a noble family. She was from Hungary. It was on August 7th, 1560, that she was born. Elizabeth spent her childhood at Exid Castle, which is located in the northeastern region of Hungary. There, she received an exceptional education from a large number of knowledgeable teachers. She was able to acquire knowledge of 3 distinct languages, namely Latin, German, and Greek. She also received instruction on how to conduct herself in an aristocratic manner. Elizabeth was blessed with riches, education, and a prominent social standing at the time of her birth and upbringing in an affluent family. When she was just 10 years old, the Countess tied the knot for the first time with a Hungarian nobleman. In the 10th year of their marriage, they had their first child, a daughter named Anna. In spite of the fact that Elizabeth gave birth to 5 children, only 2 of them came to maturity. Many historians are of the opinion that the marriage was a harmonious and joyful partnership, despite the fact that the specifics of the marriage remain unclear. Because her husband was forced to leave the castle during the Long War, 1593 to 1606, Elizabeth became the owner of the estate as well as the lands that were associated with it. In 1604, her spouse passed away. Elizabeth became the lady of the castle at the time since the couple did not have a son who had reached adulthood. As far as the servants were concerned, the widow who was obstinate and strong was not particularly to be loved. Following the death of Elizabeth's husband, a number of strange occurrences took place inside the castle. There were a great number of young handmaids who, according to the stories, passed away under mysterious circumstances and were buried in secret. At the same time, she was cruel and evil toward her servants, and she frequently caused them physical harm. Elizabeth was being brushed by a handmaid one day when she accidentally pulled her hair out of its natural state. When Elizabeth's anger reached a boiling point, she smacked the handmaid across the face. The handmaid's mouth began to bleed as a result of the force of the slap, and some of the blood made its way onto Elizabeth's hand. She observed that her skin had become more youthful and smoother after she had removed the blood from her face. Starting from this point forward, Elizabeth would kill hundreds of young girls who were still virgins and then bathe in their blood in order to make her skin appear younger, healthier, and smoother. Occasionally, she would also drink the blood that was drawn from a golden goblet or from the bodies of the young girls. On the 19th of December in the year 1619, Elizabeth Báthory was taken into custody and charged with murder. In addition to being sentenced to prison, she passed away prior to her trial. She was laid to rest in Cheste, which is located in Slovakia. However, the coordinates of her grave are unknown. Immediately following Elizabeth's passing, her story quickly gained popularity in Hungary, and she was compared to the devil, who is known for being cruel, evil, and murderous. In some instances, she is also referred to as the Hungarian version of Dracula. Many archaeologists and tourists visit the Exid Castle every year, where they try to find Elizabeth Báthory's torture chambers. Elizabeth Báthory is significant and famous in Hungarian culture. Many paintings, novels, plays, musicals, and even films were written around her life. She also owns the Guinness World Record as the most prolific female killer. The Hungarian Dracula is also a popular icon in many foreign countries.
Baobhan Sith is shown as a lovely young woman with deer hooves who wears a long green gown. Following in the traditions of prior vampires, she eats human blood and disappears at sunrise. Hooded crows or ravens may also represent her. In many Baobhan Sith legends, the Sith emerge shortly after the hunters declare their desire for female companionship. A Scottish legend states that if a person made a wish at night without asking God's protection, it would be realized in a terrible manner. Truth is linked to this notion. The Baobhan Sith often tell stories about nighttime woodland attacks on hunters. These stories are recounted in various ways. Mackenzie recorded the account of 4 men who went hunting and stayed in a shieling or cottage alone. One man sang as the others danced. 4 women entered the cabin after the males said they were searching for dancing partners. Catherine Briggs theorized that the Baobhan Sith failed to catch the 4th man among the horses because the horses were shod in iron, a weakness for fairies. Another similar anecdote included a man who rushed away when he discovered the women have hooves instead of feet. He returned the following morning to find the other hunters' necks cut and chests exposed. A third story has hunters hiding in a cave. McPhee, accompanied by his black dog, asked his wife to remain home that night. However, all the guys wanted their love that evening. At that time, a group of young women entered the cave and killed the men who loved their sweethearts. Dog guarded McPhee and drove the females out of the cave. These stories commonly have the Baobhan Sith appearing shortly after the hunters express their desire for women. A Scottish legend states that if a person made a wish at night without asking God's protection, it would be realized in a terrible manner. Truth is linked to this notion. Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, was Prince of Wallachia 3 times from 1448 and 1476/77. His death was 1476/77. The Romanians revere him as a national hero and one of Wallachia's most significant rulers. Vlad is most recognized in English-speaking countries for his ruthlessness. These tales inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. Wallachia was between the Ottoman Empire and Hungary. Because the Turks were fighting the Kingdom of Hungary, led by John Hunyadi, Wallachia became a battleground. Romanian boyars chose Wallachia's kings. Many kings were nobles while others were illegitimate princes. Due to conflicting rulers, the kingdom was unstable, causing family strife and bloodshed. Vlad was likely born in Sighisoara, Transylvania, around winter 1431. Sighisoara was a military fortress then. His father, Vlad Dracul, had him as his second son. Radu the Handsome was his younger brother, Mircea his older. He has a younger sibling. Despite being from Wallachia, his family resided in Transylvania in exile. His father had been expelled by Ottoman-supporting boyars. The Ottoman Sultan pressured Vlad's father. After promising to serve as the Sultan's vassal, he gave his 2 younger sons as hostages to secure his compliance. Radu, Vlad's younger brother, caught the Sultan's son's interest, despite Vlad's suffering at the Ottomans' hands and his imprisonment in an underground dungeon. Radu was released and converted to Islam after entering the Ottoman royal court. Vlad was shaped by these years. Vlad was shaped by them. Turkish soldiers battered and flogged him for his intransigence and roughness. Throughout his life he was known to hate Radu and Mehmed, who would become Sultan. Vlad's father and older brother Mircea died around this time. After the Turks invaded Wallachia, the Sultan installed Vlad III as his puppet leader. In the same year, Hunyadi invaded Wallachia and expelled him. Vlad's uncle Bogdan II protected him once he fled to Moldavia. Romanian villagers handed down Vlad tales. They are confused because they generally tell the narrative of a national hero, which has romanticized him. Vlad Reeps was formerly seen as a prince who protected his motherland by Romanian peasants. He is remembered as a cruel and capricious ruler. Every narrative has certain recurring events. There is a narrative of Vlad Cepes meeting with foreign diplomats in Targovist. All tales agree that Vlad nailed their hats to their heads in response to some infraction, possibly because they refused to remove their caps while Vlad was present. Vlad III Reeps is known for his severe personality. Devil is the Romanian equivalent of dragon, which comes from Dracul. Old Romanian means dragon in English. Vlad II was named Dracul by the Order of the Dragon. He was called Dracul. Cepes selected impalement as his method of torture and execution. He tortured the man by attaching a horse to each leg and pushing a sharp spike into his flesh. Vlad often patterned the stakes. Most of his designs were rings outside the city he was targeting. Spear height may indicate the victim's status. The corpses were often stored there for months.